Go.
I'm here to talk about the rise of mental health issues. Mental health, or well-being, is an ideal we all strive for. It is a balance of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. Caring relationships, a place to call home, a supportive community, and work and leisure all contribute to mental health. Mental health issues have become a rising phenomenon within young people's lives. Despite the increase of support for mental illness, there is no actual decrease in mental illness itself. There are a lot of drastic changes that occur throughout one's adolescence. The journey from child to adult can be a very difficult and challenging one. There is a lot of pressure put upon young people to succeed in such things as social situations and school. This being said, these young people often feel as though difficult situations will last forever. And this kind of adolescent attitude has some toll on mental health, as well as the fact that all of these complex changes have an effect on the individual. Here are some Canadian facts and statistics. Percentage of adolescents aged 15 to 24 who report a mental illness or substance abuse problem is 18%. Suicide accounts for 24% of all deaths among Canadians aged 15 to 24 and 16% of all deaths for the age group 25 to 44. Age with the highest rate of depression symptoms under 20 years of age. Number of Canadian children and youth affected by mental illness at any given point in time is 15% or 1.2 million. The most common problem among children and youth is anxiety, 6.5%. There's a lot of stigma around mental illness. With this existing stigma, many people with mental illnesses are challenged doubly. They struggle with symptoms and disabilities, and they are also challenged by the prejudice and stereotypes resulting from misconceptions about mental illness. People with mental illnesses are robbed of opportunities that define their life. For example, one's work life, social life, home life, and everyday doings. Easily one's self-esteem and confidence might lower increasingly because of this. Here we have an international view. In the United Kingdom, until recently, laws prevented people with mental health problems from carrying out jury service or becoming a company director. This was only overturned in July 2013. In Lithuania, some people with long-term mental health problems are unable to own their home. In Japan, a sign outside a museum reads, "Those with mental disease are declined to enter the museum." In some areas, certain leisure faculties imposed restrictions on those with mental health problems, forbidding them to use their fitness center. In Korea, in certain areas, people with mental health problems are not permitted to enter a swimming pool. In Asia, 3 major airlines in Asia refuse to allow passengers with mental health conditions onto a flight unless they were accompanied by a psychiatrist. Those were just a few examples. Mental illness can be defined as a serious disturbance in thoughts, feelings, and perceptions that are severe enough to affect day-to-day functioning. Here are some facts about some different kinds of mental illness. Percentage of Canadians who will experience depression in their lifetime is 7 to 9 to 8.6%. Likelihood of women experiencing depression is 2 times that of men. Mortality rate, including suicide, among people with bipolar disorder is 2 to 3 times higher than the general population. Chance of developing schizophrenia if a sibling or one parent has the disease is 10 to 15%. The disorder with the highest mortality rate of all mental illnesses is 10 to 20% of people with eating disorders who will eventually die from the effects. People cope with different feelings, thoughts, and situations in different ways. And some people cope best by purposely injuring themselves because they feel it is the only way they'll feel better about the underlying issue. And some others choose to end their life based on their capacity to handle these kinds of situations. Self-harm and suicide come forth from various mental illnesses. Possible and/or common reasoning would be to cope with anxiety or depression, to cope with loss, trauma, violence, or other difficult situations, to punish themselves, to turn emotional pain into physical pain, to feel real and counter feelings of emptiness or numbness, to regain control of their bodies, or to simply feel better. Here's just an image that well represents both suicide and self-harm.